Today's podcast, we were joined by Antoine Blanco. Antoine is the first coach I ever coached on seven-figure scaling systems. He is now a multi-millionaire at the age of 26 who has enough money to retire. In this podcast, we're going to reveal exactly what he did working with us, exactly how he has dramatically changed his life over the last few years, the things he's changing in terms of business, what's changing in terms of the industry, and how he's developed as a man to become the person that he is today at 26, from someone who was basically sleeping on his mum's couch a few years ago. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast already, only 10% of the people who listen to the podcast are subscribed. So I have one ask for you, is if you subscribe. Now let's get into the podcast.
No, first I want to say that I'm really impressed by because we didn't see for how long? 3 years?
2-3 years, a little while.
2-3 years, yeah. Last time we saw, you were living in Marina Gate, and now you moved here. Like, I saw the whole villa. It's very impressive. Like, congratulations for everything you've built. How is your business doing? Now you still doing the online fitness business and teaching coaches how to scale their businesses,
yeah,
right?
so we're still doing both of those, and they're both, the demographics have changed. This is what's kind of interesting. So, and I don't know if you found this with some of the things you've done. The way I built my business is I went in and I took the top end of the market because I had authority and I knew how to build really big businesses. We still work with obviously the big majority of that. And then we've now started to work with a lot of people who are now launching or starting online businesses because there's a much larger base at the bottom, which is obviously a different problem to solve. And the biggest reason people at the bottom struggle, in my opinion, is mindset issues. So I think that's slightly more challenging to kind of work with. The reason why we're also doing that is there's not enough coaches who are good who actually make enough money to come and work with us on our main program. Okay. So we're kind of creating a conveyor belt of clients who can get success, and then we can coach them all the way up to having a business that makes like 100K a month.
Interesting. And how do you find this new avatar? Like, you use paid ads, outreach?
Predominantly on paid ads. So paid ads, organic outreach, and just organic brand, word of mouth, referrals, events. Like, I'm quite big into like scaling on the unscalable. So like, in my opinion, and I get your perspective with AI and the way the world is going, people want more like in real life kind of scenarios, like seeing other human beings rather than just virtually on group Zoom calls and stuff like that. So I think that gives people a lot of trust and authority when you do events and things like that kind of consistently.
Yeah. You've been doing that, right?
Yeah. We do events normally at least every month. Like, we have a massive one 13th, 14th of March. So we'll have like 120, 150 people there. Okay. So we get like the biggest room in the Hilton on the Palm we can rent, and then get the biggest super yacht the next day in Dubai, and it's baller. It's fun.
I've never I've done some events, but I think they are not as massive as yours. You're doing over multiple days or 1 day?
2 days.
2 days. Okay. I only did like one afternoon with some of my clients. How do you organize usually this type of events? What's your role into it? Do you delegate everything to your team, or?
So I will set the agenda, and my big role is like really trying to get guests and get the right people to speak. Like, I could easily speak all day long, but what I want to do is, so from a brand perspective, is I want to pull people in who are big brands as well. So it creates more authority for us, and then kind of reach and reputation. So if I look at our next event in March, we have a friend of mine, Javi Diaz, who's also been on the podcast, biggest coach in Spain. We've got Anthony, he's the biggest coach in South America. So like, both of those two are speaking. And then a guy called Mike Rador, who scaled a business, sold it for $200 million and then lost all his money and then starting again. And like, he's sick from like a mindset perspective. Yeah. And actually now on the second day, we have a guy called Ollie Ollerton, who is he was in like the special forces in the UK Army. Okay. And then kind of went on TV and has done a lot of stuff from that aspect. So it's very good in terms of like leadership and things like that. So,
and how much do you pay usually to organize 2 days?
Both events normally is about £25,000 for both days. It's kind of what you look at.
Okay. And you doing a presentation into this kind of event?
Yeah, so I'll do a presentation, and the training is normally about an hour and a half. When we were doing, so before, this is also interesting, and people can comment below depending if you prefer 2 days in the like ballroom thing or 1 day on the boat. What we used to do is we used to do 2 days in like a conference room, like 4 days, but it was almost like too much, if that makes sense. Okay, yeah. So then we started doing like, okay, let's just get a massive super yacht and people can network, and we'll have one talk on there, and it's kind of like more fun. Because something I'm a big believer in is like, people remember what you said, but they remember how you made them feel. Yes. So they'll remember like, shit, remember that time when that massive boat in Dubai with all these amazing people, like that will stick in their memory, and they'll always have fond memories towards you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. So a lot of guys on the French market are selling as you said, like online courses, and they sell it maybe for 3K. But when they add up the live event on top of that, they charge maybe 10K more, and the customer satisfaction is way higher on the event, because as you said, people feel something, they experience something. So I was thinking about doing something like this, because I'm mainly doing, and even the events, I'm not making my clients pay or anything.
Yeah.
It's just one afternoon, we stay together. I talk a little bit about what we did for the business. I interview some of my best clients, but I would like to do something like this in Dubai. Just don't really know where to start.
That's a really easy problem solve. So I'll give you two things that we do. So we do a free workshop kind of every month, which is a locker gym where anyone who's a client can basically turn up. We normally have about 20 to 30 people there. And for like 3 hours, I would just answer any questions and basically coach people like in person.
Okay.
So the reason why I do that is it's sick for content. We get video testimonials, and then like on that day, loads of people post me on their stories and stuff. So again, it's like authority, social proof. You're reducing churn in terms of kind of clients leaving. The second thing we do in terms of the other type of events, we do every 3 months. Now, if you think about this really logically, like obviously you have great social media and great reach. If you get 120 to 150 people with really big reach and influence who've got big accounts come to your event and they all post one thing of you on your story that day, that's a lot of traffic. Mm-hmm. That then if you run also like things like Facebook ads, you're retargeting these people, anyone who clicks on your profile who sees it. So it's a really good way to kind of like build authority and presence. It's been a bit of a learning curve in the terms of how to do it to not just lose kind of like loads of money in the process.
Yes.
And I personally don't like being super salesy. So we'll sell stuff sometimes, like some coaching programs, but I don't like the American, like you and me have both been to like mastermind events where people are like selling shit like super hard. Like for me, I think it in the European market, I don't think goes so well.
Yes.
Which is my own personal preference. Like if you make it so good, people want to buy it anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you sell it before the event? You sell the event in itself?
Yeah, we sell the event like separately. So like clients buy it, and then people who are non-clients can come and buy it.
Okay.
And then we also have like a VIP ticket upgrade where they basically pay and they get access to some extra stuff. They get a one-to-one coaching session with me, and then they get invited to like a VIP dinner as well.
Okay, nice.
So that also does really well.
And during the event, you sell something?
Yeah, we would like if we have a specific offer. So like the last one we did in November. So one of the things we brought out. So from my perspective, what I see crushes at the moment is paid ads VSLs, which is a very complicated strategy to execute. Mm-hmm. So we're really good at doing it. So it's okay, we will just do a done for you VSL. So then we put out an offer for that. Like if you want to do this is how it works. This is exactly what we do. These are kind of the terms. Then we have people sign up for it. So
nice.
That's also where I think I see a lot of the coaching space going at like the higher end of the market. It's more done for you, which is kind of like the thing that you kind of do in terms of like being a growth operator.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I started doing that a few months ago. Before that, I scaled my own course to 400,000 euros, more than 400,000 euros cash collected per month. I became millionaire doing so. And so I was like, a lot of people wanted to know how I've scaled from 20, 30K per month to 400. And I started taking a bunch of clients, but in different niches, because my opinion is that on the French market, at least, customers are getting, and prospects are getting very exposed to the same funnels, the same messaging, the same offers. And there is kind of a fatigue in terms of like ad spend that's going very high, conversions that are very difficult. It's very hard also to build a great sales team. So I'm trying to find clients in different niches, different markets, but where you can solve a very strong problem they have. For example, I've just onboarded a new client that is doing AI filmmaking. He has a big production in France. He has worked with the best TV channels to make ads for them. And so we're going to help him scale his course. He only has a school that is like 97 euros per month. And so the model is not good. Only by putting a high ticket offer, you can like maybe 2x or 3x his business. It doesn't have any ads. Like there are so many creators that already have offers and make maybe 5,000 euros per month with it and could go to 100,000 euros per month with it very easily just by implementing different offers, a sales team that close to the phone. So yeah, that's a model I very strongly believe in. I'm also teaching my clients now how they can become growth operators because I saw the results for myself. And a lot of clients that were beginners before found, like, there is one client I talked with yesterday. He's helping one creator in the French special force niche. So he's helping militaries become special forces. It's a coaching program. And my client is helping him with the closing, setting, everything. And he's already making more than 10K per month. And he's been working with him for 2 months. So yeah, I'm like big advocate for this like opportunity. And I think more and more, as you said, we're going to see done for you offers because it's the only way to be really skin in the game with your clients. Like one of the main issue we have, I think, when we just sell info is that when you've sold your product, even if your client doesn't succeed, it won't impact you. But if you are really skin in the game with them, if you have a profit share in their business, it's a win-win situation where you allocate your resources and everyone is going in the same direction. So the offer is more compelling because the clients know you will stay with them, but also the price to value ratio that you offer to your clients is more fair, I would say. Because the reality of the info space is that, at least in my opinion, everyone that sells info around me will have maybe 10 to 20% of their customers that will have great results. And after that, it's average. Some is like not good at all. And so having this model where you take a percentage of a business and you really help them scale and you help them with your team and everything, it's the best model, I would say.
So obviously this is a funny story because you were the first client we ever had at Simfix Game
Yes.
Systems. Why do you think you were part of the percentage of people who are successful?
Yeah, I think, as you said, it's a lot of mindset. A lot of people who doesn't succeed is because of fears. Either they are conscious or subconscious fears, but a lot of people will find problems to solutions and they will get stuck in their own heads. So I think I implement very fast the advice that I have when someone give me something I don't think, I just do. I'm not a really smart guy, but I work really hard. I don't count the hours I'm behind my computer, and I know I'm executing very fast, and I am also not afraid of failure. I think a lot of people overthink because they are afraid to make something wrong, but like if you think about it, there are very small percentage of decisions that are not irreversible in life, like who you marry, if you want to have kids or no. But apart from that, like everything is reversible. You can change where you live, you can change the funnel you have, you can change the content you have, you can change everything. So even if you produce something that doesn't match the expectation you have, you can always get information pivot. And that's a mentality I've had since I was a teenager. And I think it helped me a lot, maybe because I've done a lot of sport when I was younger. But yeah, the information is one thing, but who implements the information is also very important. And you have helped me a lot when I was a fitness trainer. I've learned a lot of things that I've then reused later on for the different offers I've launched. And that's why information and knowledge is one of the best investment you can make when you implement it, because you can use it for all your life.
This is why I try to explain to people. I feel like you must have the same. I feel like just fucking shaking people. And I'm like, dude, you do realize anything you learn like now, and if you're like, particularly if you're under 30, you can use it for the next fucking 30 years. Mm-hmm. Like you are so retarded to not understand how valuable it is.
Yes.
That I can see things you can't see.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the game.
Yes.
And like, no matter how good AI is in ChatGPT, AI doesn't understand very small nuances and doesn't have like intuition. Like you and me have intuition because we've done this for a while.
Yes.
Like you can look at an offer or like content and you know if it's going to kind of work or not just based upon a kind of past experience.
Yes.
But there's like nothing outside of a human being with experience could do that yet.
Yeah. I think it's pattern recognition because you've been doing that for so long and you've been in this space for so long, you know if something is good or not. But that's also because you have a big track record and you've had a lot of failures. You've launched a lot of things, a lot of ads, a lot of landing pages that didn't work. So you know when someone comes with you and tells you, hey, what do you think about this hook or this headline? What do you think about it? You know very fast if it's good or not because you have good pattern recognition.
I can give you a great example of this at the moment. And I get it probably like every other day. I don't know if you get the same. It's like AI DM setters. Like everyone is trying to sell fucking AI DM setters stuff like. So like a good friend of mine who came on the podcast is a guy called Jordan Lee.
Okay.
So he makes $6 million a month selling AI, and he
$6 million.
Yeah, and he uses actual human beings for setters still, not AI. So I'm like, when he tells me he's using AI DM setters, I'm like, cool, I'm in. But up until that point, like if you have clients who are potentially high value, I don't want the AI to fuck something up. And I think for a lot of people, that's also where they're trying to cut corners a little bit by trying to automate stuff that's too much because they don't want to necessarily put the time in to try and train salespeople, setters, coaches, which is also why they need people like growth operators.
Yes, I agree 100%. And it's funny because I've launched a company that like 1 year ago that is doing AI appointment setting and also AI lead generation on Instagram. That's called Orse. And we've been struggling a bit, and like I'm very transparent on the results we get because there are some API meta integration that caused us some problems, especially through WhatsApp, because before we were also doing appointment setting through WhatsApp, and it's true that still now the technology is good but not good enough to replace an entire appointment setting team. So I use my software inside, but you also need some appointment setters to see if it's actually good. And sometimes you need to give some feedback and everything to the AI. But your friend is doing 6 million a month with this.
Just not with AI DM setting, but they sell AI services and have their own AI software and loads of other stuff.
Okay, so it's mostly services.
And teaching people how to basically kind of become like how to basically get AI and implement it into other businesses. So start a business with AI, implementing AI into other people's businesses.
Oh, okay.
So he actually spoke at one of our last event in November. So I highly actually recommend listening to his podcast because it's interesting. Because for him, for example, I think they have a sales team of like 100. Like it's massive. And their ticket price, I think goes up to like 25 to 50K. So they have high price points, which is what all businesses have that make decent money, is they have to have a high price point. And I think the big thing that I've seen also is that if you look at things like, I think it's Warrior Babe in fitness, any big fitness business that makes millions a month, they all struggle to get low ticket to work. Low ticket doesn't, like no business doing big money does it with low ticket.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. And that's why the school model is interesting, because if you can find some creators that are already doing okay with a low ticket price on school recurring, as a growth operator, you can come and add to their revenue, as I said, 2 to 10x in like 1 month just by implementing a high ticket offer. So yeah, I 100% agree. Like the low ticket is not really working, especially with paid ads. And if you can find some creators that are already having this model and they are doing okay, they have huge potential for high ticket.
How important do you think paid ads are now?
That's a good question. I think it's still like it will work forever, but as I said earlier, the cost per lead, the price of advertisement is increasing on every platform, and it will not decrease over time. For me, it has worked really well. I could not have scaled to 400,000 cash collected without paid ads. But I would say that you need to test a lot of things to find what works before scaling. That's one mistake that a lot of people do when they start paid ads. They expect that by doing a few creatives, they will find a winner and everything will go smoothly. But usually you need to test a lot of things, a lot of hooks, a lot of hangers to find one that works and then go all in on that. And so I would say it's working. You just need to test a lot of things, have a good creative team inside to be able to produce every week a lot of things. But yeah, it's still working and it will work forever. On the make money online niche, it's harder and harder because of the competition and the saturated messages that is always similar. But if you can find a market that's a bit different and implement paid ads, like for example, my little brother, I've helped him start his coaching business, and he helps students go to their ideal business school, basically. So it's a mentoring program. And this niche is like, there are not a lot of competition, not a lot of people that knows how to run ads, funnels and everything. And his cost per leads is not very high, but his ROAS is insane. So there are a lot of small market niches like this where you can go implement paid ads and scale massively compared to online make money regular stuff.
Well, I think it's the blue oceans. I think if you get the biggest thing I think I've probably learned in the last 6 months is the most powerful thing in business is the offer. Mm-hmm. Like, who are you selling to, what problems to solve, and like what is the price point? And then also like, what's the second sell? So you sell them something first, but then what's the second thing you're going to sell someone? Yeah. So where people make a lot of money is even if they break even on paid ads on the first sale, if you've got a second sell or an upsell that's then 10K, 30K, whatever, that's where you make a lot of money.
Have you done that for yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never done it, actually.
I'll talk to you afterwards, but it fucking crushes. So like
okay.
That for me is, so that's where also like the way I said to you earlier, I see businesses going, it's more done for you. So like we're going to start rolling out, like we'll run people's ads for them, like becoming more of a kind of agency as well as like consulting. And then for our own version of growth partners, I'm basically just going to select the best clients we have, who I want to work with, who then I'll personally push you to then go higher and higher and higher to bigger numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because with the done for you model, the LTV is so much higher that you can probably spend a little bit more on ads to acquire new customers. But on my B2C offer, I've stayed only onto like one offer, one funnel, one avatar for a long time. And I think I should think about launching a back-end offer, especially for my gross operating clients, because they already have probably one creator that's working well. And some of them are doing like 10 to 20K per month, but they don't know how to scale to 100. So this is where it would make sense to implement a backend offer. But I think but it's always the same thing. There are so many things to optimize, so many things to do. But
that's also where, like, for you to build a great business and for everyone, it does take some time. Mm-hmm. It's like even everything is like a work in progress. And if you look at people who've done big things, it takes longer than you think. I remember, Frank and Blanco. So like, yes. Me and him were talking in the gym here the other week, and I think he said to me, it's like, it takes so much longer to get a great team than you realize. He was like, it takes at least 6 years. And I was like, I kind of agree, because it's like, we've now, up until now, like we were spending 100K a month on ads, and I was running all the ads, which is fucking retarded. And we've now got a media buyer who's insane, who knows way more than I do. Obviously know what I'm doing because it's profitable. But for me, that's like, shit. I also save myself a load of time every week. And I've also got someone who knows more than I do, then like pushing back to me, be like, no, you can't scale this because of X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's important, is that as your business grows, it's like that expression is like chess, not checkers. It's about you getting the right place and the right piece in the right place on the board to then make the thing go faster.
How did you find the media buyer?
Through my network.
Okay. Yeah, that's so also something I realized, is that the best hire are usually through your personal network and not online. You know, the hiring process where you post a story and get some application, usually they are not the most qualified. How is Frank doing?
Pretty well from what I can imagine. I think he's in Dubai again in the next week or two. You and me we should all go out and do something. But he he's still very much still in his same niche in terms of the fitness thing, which I think is interesting. So like he's obviously done very well from that. He went into B2B a bit and then came back just to like his B2C thing, because I think his brand is so dominant in that. And obviously I think he has an advantage where the Netherlands is a small country and he just sells in the Dutch market. If anyone listening to this has an audience and you just sell in one country, in one location, it's so much easier, in my opinion, to then be like super dominant. So like even now with what we do, we have, I don't know, 30% of our clients are in the UK, 20% are here, probably 30% in the US. We have clients in Australia, Singapore, like everywhere. So then it's difficult to then try and do things in person and all that type of stuff and build relationships.
Yeah, I agree. So he's doing well still on the B2C offer, fitness transformation.
But that's also where I think anyone who does well, who has a right mindset, will continue to keep doing well. If that makes sense. Whereas like you and me would both know, like I know people who have been maybe a bit of a flash in the pan. They've gone viral on social media for a couple of months. Their business got to 100K a month, but don't really know how they did it. And then they just drop off again.
Yes.
And they also can't mentally, they don't have the resilience to be able to keep going or figure out what to do next.
Yeah.
Because it's constant like kind of pivoting, because something will work in your business for a period of time, then it won't work. Then you need to find like, what's the next thing? It's a constant kind of evolution.
Yes. And a lot of beginners maybe have this false expectation that once you have a business running, you will be set for life and everything will go and run smoothly. But the truth is that the markets are always moving. Technology makes the market moves very fast, especially with AI and stuff like this. Now, the needs of customers are changing, the offers are changing. So all the time you need to change what you do and adapt. And yeah, that's something most beginners, I would say, don't realize when they start.
With what you said there, so I think that's something important for people to take in. One of the reasons I think people stay stuck and stay like in the most painful place, which is making less than 5 to 10K a month in their business, is because they think they know what they're doing, which is why they don't focus on continually learning or like evolving. What would be your advice to them?
I would say you need to find a good mentor. I don't know if you remember, but the reason I was one of your first clients back in the days is because we were in the same mastermind, and I knew that you were one of the best in the mastermind, if not the best, with Frank. And so I knew that if I wanted to keep my business for long enough, I had to stay around the right people. And that's why I approached you to get one-on-one mentorship with you, and I think that's something really important. Like to be in the right environment with the right people, get the right information, is something that helps you stay longer in the game and adapt continuously because you are aware of the new strategy. For example, now we talk about the growth operator model. You see some of your people in your network doing it, that's working well for them. You see myself doing it, that's working well for me. So just by staying with the right people around, you can navigate and stay in the right opportunities at the right time and like stay in there for longer. So yeah, I think having the right mentorship and the right people around you is very important.
It's the right information at the right time before anyone else. So like if you know the right people, they can see the iceberg before anyone else, or they can have the intuition to probably know what's going to happen, and then can kind of give you the awareness of like, I think this is what's going to happen. Like for example, I've been saying for the last 12 months, and it's already happening, is that because of AI, all the low ticket coaching businesses will be like wiped out because people can just make workouts on ChatGPT and diets.
Yes.
So like, which is why you need to kind of go premium in terms of your branding and what you want to do, because people always want coaching because they want accountability, they want to kind of have relationships, but you need to come away from the bottom end of the market, because that bottom end of the market is just going to be cannibalized, in my opinion.
And you are doing low ticket to high ticket funnels, right?
So we do a free course, which
cool.
Then just basically gives loads of people a load of value. If you want to get access, there's a link below. And that's done phenomenally well. And we've run that for maybe about 2.5 years. And which is a long time to run a strategy, but it continues to work for us.
Okay.
So we run on like a paid strategy. We run that. We run VSL funnels, and then we run like boosted follower funnels.
Okay.
The VSL I like the most. It's the hardest to pull off, but I like it because the tracking is very dialed in. To be fair, so is the free course. I've toyed before with charging for the free course, but I personally would rather just like give it away for free. And then like the best people come into it, get a load of value from it, and then they naturally kind of come through to you anyway. Like I believe in like reciprocity kind of selling.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Do you talk about your pricing openly or?
Yeah, we talk about openly in terms of structure. It's like what we do is our beginner program, Fit Pro Launch Systems, is like $7,500, and then our main program, 7-figure scaling systems, is $16,000, so about £12,000 for 4 months. And then we have other kind of like back end stuff from that.
Okay.
And the one thing that I've noticed also, which is why we get really good results for people, is we do 16 weeks to start with, because it gives people a defined amount of time to be like, fuck, I need to pull my finger out and do this. And that's the biggest issue I see, is that like money loves speed, poverty loves indecision. So like the reason people aren't successful is because they just don't do things quickly enough or execute. Like you said earlier, you like just fucking really like execute things quickly. The reason people aren't successful is because they just take too long to do anything.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Have you ever thought about doing mix offer, like for example the 16,000 one, backed with maybe a profit share, like a mix of gross operating with consulting?
That's kind of what we're toying with next, but it would be only on the right type of clients. So the other tier I've also started to do is, I stopped for a while, but it's taking on one-to-one clients, but at like higher price points. So a guy paid $50,000, for example, and like that's the price I would charge them for a year, because then it's enough for me to want to be involved, and then also I know someone's serious if they're going to pay that. Like they'll do exactly what I tell them to do, and then they'll fucking scale like crazy.
Yeah, interesting. I'm thinking about launching like more of a B2B offer, because the B2C is going well, but I see the limits in terms of how much you can spend with your ad budget and everything. So I'm thinking about launching like a 16,000 offer and 16,000 euro like you do, and something that they pay yearly and renew every year. And on top of that, we add like a gross operator model where we do their VSL for them, we run their ads for them, we write everything, and we take maybe 20 to 30% of profit share. So this is like something recurring every year, 16,000 plus 20 to 30% profit share, and we help them scale, done for you. Do you think it's a good idea?
I quite like that, to be fair. The only thing that would concern me is if you had people sign up who then were retarded and then just didn't do the thing, which is why my personal preference is I would only offer it to people, not allow everyone into it, if that makes sense. So like the way I would do it, it'd be like, okay, cool, we can take you into a growth operator, but you have to be competent enough to say get to 40,000 euros a month in your business, and then we'll come in and then we'll do everything for you. We'll take you on as a client.
Okay.
But this is the ceiling where you have to get to your, like, we will consult to you, but for you to, like, us to come into the business, then you have to be competent enough to be able to get here on your own. Now, I'm not going to sound like Stephen Bartlett, but I know a lot of people coming onto our podcast and who are not subscribing, but still enjoying the content. If I have one small ask for you, it's please hit the subscribe button. It'll help us a lot.
Okay. And how would you balance the two funnels? Like, should I, if I do this model, should I slow down the B2C and only focus my content and my funnels and everything onto this B2B offer? So either it's 16,000 yearly, either it's 16,000 plus the profit share. But should I give up the B2C, or should I do both and run two funnels at the same time?
This is what I've tested a lot. So this is interesting. So it's much harder to sell high ticket, like a 16K offer on paid ads than it is to beginners. So what I would do is I'd position your organic content to the 16K people at the higher level stuff, and I'd run the ads to the beginners. Why is that the beginner ads will convert really, really well. You hopefully can upsell people then into the second thing anyway. And then the organic stuff will convert the high level people. But what will happen is the ads will bring people in anyway, who will then see the organic content that's more for them anyway. And it will kind of help to convert. Because I know, for example, I think like if you know like Cole Gordon and people like that, I think their CAC is like, cost to acquire customers like $6,000 or something on their, I think it's like a 16K offer or something like that. So the cost to acquire a customer on those type of programs can be pretty high, whereas like the lower ticket stuff can be way, way less, and it has a bigger market as well. Okay. So that's probably what I would do, because we've kind of found the same thing where I was like trying to position ads to like high ticket people, but then a lot of like I wouldn't buy from a cold ad a 16K program for someone I don't know. Like you wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
But I would do, if it was from a targeting ad, I would, because obviously I already know the person, which means the organic content is really the thing that matters more for the high ticket stuff. But for the beginner audience, you can kind of pull people in who are fresh. I also see particularly, I said we've got that funnel that we've run for like 2.5 years. I could see in high roast that we've had clients sometimes who people have signed up, they opted in like a year and a half ago.
Wow.
So it's a long fucking buying cycle sometimes, which is why if you do the same thing for a longer period of time, it's easier. And then also the thing I found is that we've had clients leave and then 6 to 12 months later they come back.
Okay.
Which is I also found very interesting.
Okay. And how do you nurture them usually?
In terms of the clients coming back or the higher ticket people?
High ticket.
My opinion, it's like the 7-hour rule from Google. It's like long form content. If you can get them to absorb something that's really high value, even if it's like a short 5-minute training video that you're like, you watch something like, yeah, this guy fucking knows what he's talking about. Like that's all you want, because then like, I said earlier about the media buyer.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, he said something to me when I first spoke to him. I was like, yeah, he knows stuff I don't know. Like, so I'm like, I'm in. So like that's kind of what you want to happen, because when people have that realization of like, there's this ignorance tax they're paying of all these things they don't know that's holding them back, but you've got the fucking key to unlock that for them. That's when they're like, I need to message Antoine. And if you do that and also then have shitloads of like undeniable social proof and authority, it's just like, you've done it yourself, you've got all these other people who've done it, you've done it with, then it's kind of like a no-brainer.
Are you in a mastermind at the moment?
I'm not at the moment, but I do some stuff with Alex Ramosi and his team. So I go out to Vegas every 6 months or so.
Okay.
That's at the moment. My big thing at the moment is I pay for like consulting with people. So we consult with someone on content at the moment, and just trying to hire people who are really fucking high level. So like the media buyer who's come in is expensive, but like really good. So it's more at a certain point, and it's also one of the reasons why I like doing the podcast. At a certain point now, the people who I want to learn from, I can't just pay because they don't need the money.
Yeah.
So like there's a guy I'm trying to get on the podcast because I just want to interrogate him for like 2 hours on what he does. And for me, that's one of the values of also doing this, and also personal brand, and also getting to document like kind of behind the scenes of what you're doing.
Yes, I agree. Sometimes it makes more sense to have a dinner with someone that's really high level and invite them compared to paying for a full mastermind. It depends from your position and your network, but I would say the more you get into this space, the more you know the right people, and taking advice from more masterminds won't change like your business overnight.
Well, it comes down to execution and then skills. So like probably the biggest epiphany I think I've had the last 12 months as well is that it's actually really easy to learn skills. Like, provided you're not fucking retarded, like anyone can learn to run Facebook ads, make content, do whatever. What's really hard is to build the mindset of someone who can make like $1 million a year. Like that's the difficult thing that most people can't do. Yeah. And that probably, boy, I think the easiest way to do that is actually being around other people who are doing it, because you see how they behave, you see what they do, you see how they act every day, and then you can kind of just mirror. It's like success by osmosis.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. What would you say is driving you now? Because you have the nice villa, you have your family. No, actually, what did it change for you to have a child?
Transparently, it wasn't planned, but I'd always wanted to have a child. I was kind of concerned whether I would be able to or kind of not. And it was ironically, it was a big shock because my partner's name's also called Charlie. She basically, we were in Las Vegas at the time, actually for an Alex Ramosi thing, which is kind of random. And for Valentine's Day, she gave me this bag. And in the bag, there was like 2 baby boots and like a pregnancy stick thing. So I found out she was pregnant on Valentine's Day, which is kind of random, like fucking weird, right? So, and this is what's even more weird. Inside the boots, I always liked the name Carter. I originally always thought I'd just have a son, so I can call him Carter. And then we had a daughter who I just called Carter anyway. And then in the boots, dude, it said fucking Carter. Like Crazy. That was a brand. It was like Carter's, yeah. So I was like, that's fucking spooky. So it wasn't planned, but it's always something I kind of always wanted. I think how it's probably changed my perspective on things is things that would piss me off massively, piss me off less, if that makes sense. So like, one would be like, I don't know, people talking shit about you on the internet for like fucking no reason. Like, I'm sure you've had it. I fucking get it all the time. I'm like, that for now, I'm just like, fuck, I don't really care. Like, you guys are just retards, because if you've got nothing else better to do than talk shit about someone, like, because we signed up clients who didn't want to sign up with you, then that's your fucking problem. So I think the way I try and think about situations like that, if anyone lashes out, anyone, is always like, the world's a mirror, not a window. That's someone's own insecurity of them fucking playing up if they have to kind of speak about things like that. But I think probably the biggest thing has been getting less pissed off by stuff like that. And then also thinking longer term, if that makes sense. So stretching time horizons and then setting bigger goals with longer time horizons. Like for this year, I kind of have targets, but I don't have like specific goals. Where before I'd be like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. Like now I'm just fucking kind of doing my thing every day and just going with the flow and doing the best I can, and then aiming at the fucking North Star of the targets, and we'll kind of fucking see where it lands.
How much do you take care of the baby?
It's kind of difficult as a man, and like fucking guys listening to this can jump in and shout on this and agree, but at the first few weeks is very difficult because they kind of really just want the mum, and they still kind of do a lot at the kind of the beginning, because a man can't breastfeed them, and then they just sleep a lot of the time. So it's like kind of not really involved, and they just want the mum a lot of the time. So I'm in a fortunate position which is kind of common to Dubai, where we have like we have a nanny, we have a fucking night nanny. My mother-in-law is here, so like there's lots of people who can kind of help. So I'll try and like help as much as I kind of can. I've changed like 2 nappies maybe. It's my fucking but
still,
it does make it more challenging, and that's actually the advice I give to anyone who's young. Is like, get yourself to a point where your business can kind of run without you, and then have children. So like, I don't take sales calls. I don't really do many one-to-one calls. If I want to cancel everything in my day, it doesn't really matter if there's a problem. Like I had to do that maybe like the other week. I had to cancel a podcast with someone. It was a big podcast because we had to go to the hospital with the baby. But like, if I had to take sales calls and do stuff like that, my business would lose revenue, because my business is designed to kind of run without me. It then doesn't really matter. So that's why I say to everyone, like, when you're younger, you need to push hard fast to get to that point where you have more kind of self-sufficiency in the business. It's not just you driving everything, if that makes sense.
I'm thinking about having a baby, like not now, but in the future. And I'm not really sure if I want one, actually, because I feel like it's very draining, and it's a bit like the lottery, you know, because
it's hard as fucking shit. No one will fucking tell you.
It's hard. But I feel like there is also like you cannot really control what's going to be the personality and character trait of your baby. I feel like some child were born in family with like the perfect parents. They have good education, but they are still nightmares to deal with. And like, you don't really know what you're going to come across with. And so I value freedom a lot. And I'm like, I don't know if I really want to take the bet to have to deal with...
How old are you though, dude?
26.
You do some 36. In 10 years time, you've got loads of time.
Yeah.
It's also a good thing for men is that you like, we can keep having children to like, I think Tony Robbins had a kid at like 55 or something.
Yeah, during COVID.
So like, there's fucking loads of time.
Yeah. I don't know if the position of like the good and cool uncle, I think it fits well for me.
I guarantee you in 10 years time, if you haven't had a child, you want to have a child. Like, I would say the way I'd kind of even frame it is, if I died today, I'd kind of feel happy anyway, because I've like kind of completed everything, and there's like a living thing part of me still here, if that makes sense.
Okay. But when you think about it, why does it matter to have something living out of you? Because in 3 generations, it won't matter anyway.
But then if your previous generations had that thought process, you wouldn't exist, or neither would I.
That's true.
And also, like, I've just read Elon Musk's autobiography. He's pushing big on people having kids, because there's actually a big issue with like population collapse. So like, I went on holiday to the Maldives last week, and it was like, with kids, it's fucking great. And like that type of scenario, it also made me think of like, okay, if you get super rich, you don't really have to work. It'd be fucking sick. I'd have like fucking 5 kids, because you could just kind of like fuck around or die. You go on holiday, you just do what you want, play football with them on the beach. So I think that would be a big motive to kind of like push towards. An extreme example of that, even just thinking about it, so I got invited to go to Richard Branson's Necker Island at the end of the year. And like, imagine if you had enough money, you could build a sick island in the fucking Caribbean, play tennis and fucking football with the kids all day and just do whatever you want. That'd be pretty sick. So like, I think if you can set big goals and aspirations of things like that, you can then kind of build the life you want. I would say I didn't want children, like probably actually again when I first came to Dubai, and then even like last week I was like, oh yeah, I would definitely have another one. But then when they play up, you're like, oh, I don't know. But like,
did you feel some kind of social pressure over time as you were growing older?
I think as a man, in my opinion, there's some part that you feels like you need to have children.
Okay.
I also think from, not that it's a marketing ploy, but from a marketing perspective, people trust you more.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Because like if people see like, oh, like he's got a baby and like, or even, I mean, fucking walking around like Dubai Mall with like a baby, like all the women would come up to me and start talking to me like just being nice because everyone trusts you straight away.
Yeah.
Not that they wouldn't trust me anyway, but do you know what I mean? So I think if you have a very kind of like hard demeanor sometimes, it's one of those good things to kind of like soften people out.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not against, and I'm not 100% sure now. I'm still in between. But I always ask when someone have a baby, what did it change for them? And
it's way harder than people talk about. No one talks about that. Everyone just talks about the good shit. It's difficult.
Okay. And it's like, this is only the beginning.
Yeah, but I think the beginning is the worst.
Okay.
So like for me, it's also kind of like the older she's getting, she's only like 4 months old, the more fun they kind of do stuff. Whereas at the beginning, they kind of can't do anything.
Yeah.
So I think when you can actually, what I'm looking forward to is when you can teach them things and they can start to, I don't know, play tennis, they can play football, you can like, I was also thinking how sick is this, is you can build a little protege. Like remember she was only maybe like 8 weeks old and I was sitting outside with her on my lap and I had like my headphones in, like voice noting AI, all this stuff. And I was thinking like the amount of stuff she's going to know by the time she's like 5 years old, just from hearing me talk all the time about these things is wild. And it's kind of like you're saying about like getting the right mentors and surrounding yourself with the right people.
Yes.
That for me is like, okay, cool. I'd be sick to see how like successful and how amazing a human being you can make someone into, if that makes sense.
And do you feel it's preventing you from traveling and enjoying other stuff that life has to offer?
I would say everything has a cost. So like you have to sacrifice some things. It's more difficult to go and do some things. It's more disruptive for the female, 100% more than the male, because I remember a friend of mine, Mike Radoy, speaking at an event, said this, it's like this human is going to be attached to the mother like non-stop for the next 18 years. Like they always, like men are kind of designed, like if you think back in caveman times, like we go off and hunt and they don't necessarily want to be with dad all the time. Whereas I think, and I think also my opinion for anyone who's like a business owner is you are better off being present for like an hour or two a day, like really present, than being someone who's there like 10 hours a day, but you're just like on the sofa watching TV or on your phone or something. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference between like time and then like quality time or actually being interactive.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, because for me, I value a lot freedom and the ability to live experiences, travel. That's why I went to China to learn Kung Fu. And 2 weeks ago, I did a like 100K ultra trail run in Ras Al Khaimah, like 1 hour from Dubai. And I'm scared that all of these experiences and crazy stuff, I'm not going to be able to keep doing them after having a child. But maybe it's a limiting belief, especially living in Dubai and having nannies and stuff. It looks way easier compared to what my parents has to do with me.
Dude, I tell you what, it's given me a huge amount of respect for is anyone who's a single mom.
Yeah.
Like or had like 2 kids. Like it's difficult, but then also life is systems, right? If you can build the right system, like the reason I moved to this house was so then because I knew I was going to have a child. Otherwise I would stay in Dubai Marina because I don't need a 6-bedroom house. So, but then I know if I move here, it's like, okay, well, I then have loads of space and my work's not going to be disrupted. We've got space to have nannies, people stay, whatever. So I kind of planned ahead for that, so then it was not as disruptive as it kind of could be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But also, if you think from a business perspective, you build your business the right way, it shouldn't need to kind of run with you. And I think it forced me to plan ahead to try and like separate myself a bit more so that it could kind of, I steer the ship, but I'm not the person fucking pressing all the buttons, if that makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah. Regarding your financial goals, would you say that it motivated you to make more, or would you say that it made you more grateful for what you have? And like, would you say it made you more ambitious, or did it change
I think
something?
it goes through phases. I think chasing money for money's sake is a fool's errand. So I think getting to a certain amount of income and kind of like critical mass is important. And then you kind of have some kind of safety net behind you of assets and things like that. So don't invest in crypto at the moment. That's a fucking disaster, but that's another story. So I think that's kind of important. And I think for me, I've always been numbers orientated. And then I know if I get to a certain amount of like net worth, then I can fucking just go on holiday all the time if I wanted to. Not that I'm going to do that, but then you're playing the game for like complete fun. And then that's where one of the things I've done this year, was actually the person I was going to mention to you, is I've started working with a wealth manager who's really helped me in terms of like making the right decisions financially and not doing stupid shit. He's also probably the most connected person in Dubai. So I think that's helped massively from my own perspective in terms of looking longer term at decisions. Okay, where could I be in 5 years' time if I play things kind of sensibly? Is kind of my thought process with that. And like my goal, my two financial goals I would set as my North Star, so like a target rather than a goal. I want to get to 100 million net worth by 45 and a billionaire by 60. With time, like compounding effect, it can be done. For me, I also know that will come about from exiting businesses, not running businesses. Yes. So I'm very aware that like one of the things we're doing at the moment is building a software business. It'll be from something like that or having equity and stuff where you'll get big fucking lumps of cash.
Interesting. I've had a recent realization because I became a millionaire at 24, multi-millionaire at 25, and now I'm 26. And I had this weird moment where I've invested more, like a lot of money, and I didn't really need to work to make money. And so I had this realization of like, now what is exciting?
What drives you?
Yeah, what drives me for the future? Because before I think it was more a security and survival instinct that pushed me to make a lot of money. And now I feel like I need something to pull me, you know, something I look forward to. And that's like a few months ago, I had this realization that we're going to die regardless and that life is very short. And so I was like, what do I want to... I had this very weird psychological phase where I didn't know what to do, if I was on the right path or not. And I think it's very interesting to see what... I didn't expect that. When I set the goal for myself to make a lot of money, I saw that I would be very grateful and that my life would get better and everything. But actually, I realized that it created
more
different
stress.
Problems, more stress, and also a lot of confusion about like what I want for my future. I know that I like business and I want to keep doing businesses, but I also know that I don't want to miss out on experiences and stuff. And so I think it's very interesting, and most people that didn't reach the stage would not understand. And when I was hearing that before, I was like, okay, not me. Like when I will have enough money, I will be done and everything will be okay. But it's very weird how it can influence your perspective on a lot of things.
It's the cost of ambition.
Yeah,
I think, but that's where like the whole journey is personal development. So if you look at, I can give you a good example. Even like last week I went away to the Maldives, and like I can obviously afford to go, but I was like, I felt bad about going. So even I asked like AI, and I was like, I consult a lot with AI to like from some sick things I kind of built into it. And I was like, dude, like you're never going to have a chance to, your daughter will only be like 12 weeks old once. So it's like, you'll never have these memories again. I'll be able to go do this or take them to sea the first time. It's like, you're a fucking retard, just go. So I think like it's sometimes we try and delay happiness and try and kick the can down the road thinking like, I'll be happy when I have X amount, when I've done Y. But then this is the difficult thing, is you get to like what you thought was the end of the road where happiness was, and you're like, well, what the fuck do I do now? I don't feel any different, which is kind of like a vacant feeling. And I don't know if you've kind of found that.
Yes.
Which is why like now I'll try and do something, kind of do more things I want to do and I want to enjoy. So like before this earlier, I played tennis. So I'm like trying to do like more things during the week that I kind of find fun.
Yeah.
But then even like psychologically in my brain, I'm like, oh fuck, you should be working. It's like 10 a.m. Why are you fucking playing tennis at Atlantis? Like, do you know what I mean? I think, but that's the cost of being a high achiever, because you constantly try to push yourself more and more and more. which is why you have been successful.
Yes.
But then what has got you to this level of success won't get you to the next level of success. And that's what I'm trying to like unlearn. For me, for example, is like, yeah, I can do everything in my business, but if I do everything in my business, then my business won't grow because I'm only one human being. Yeah. Whereas if I can get the right people underneath me, if they can only do it like 80%, we can go way faster.
And for way longer, probably.
Yeah.
So you also had this phase where you've made some money and you got a little bit confused by what you should do with your life, or not really?
I distinctly remember I think it was July 2024, I went to my partner, I was like, I don't know what to do, I'm bored, this is just really easy. And I had all mother of fucking shit storms then kicked off like a week later with like loads of competitors attacking me. I had like hackers then trying to fucking shut all my accounts down, which was ironic, which is like I kind of brought that upon myself into the world of being like, this is too easy, I'm making loads of money, whatever, I don't really know what else to do, I don't know what to do with myself other than like work out and sunbathe because I was in Marbella at the time. And I think that's also where that gave me a realization of like, when things are going really well, like you're going to have a problem again soon. So just like embrace the easier times, knowing the harder times are going to come.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But that's why I think, I said it earlier, like the mindset thing's the hardest part of everything, because that's what a lot of it I think comes with like age and experience, which is again is why surrounding yourself with the right people, because you can be like, oh, like, what do you think of this? Like if someone's been through that path, they're like, yeah, I did that, well, don't do that. Or like stupid. I'll give you an example. You mentioned like the car's really nice. So it's like, yeah, I have a sick Ferrari and it's fun. But even like part of the time, like I was looking on ChatGPT yesterday. I was like, if I sold my car for 200 grand and I invested it into my wealth portfolio, what would that be worth in 15 years? I like stupid shit like that. Cause I'm like, maybe I should just get rid of it. I only use it like a couple times a week, and then it'd be worth like 2 million or whatever it was in 15 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. It's difficult because I remember we had the discussion about the car. It was a few years ago, and you didn't buy it. But I think, did you find a difference in your marketing? Did it help?
It's difficult to quantify. I think it does to some degree. I think at a certain point, people can look at you and be like, okay, well, he clearly must know something because he's got a fucking supercar, lives on the fucking palm. And like at a certain point, you can't fucking fake everything. So I think one thing it does give you is a lot of self-confidence, and proves maybe your self-identity to some degree, because like people will only improve or charge what they're worth based upon their own identity of themselves. And I think that's one of the things in terms of like everyone constantly trying to upgrade their own self-worth. So like what you're willing to invest into yourself, like what you're willing to spend. Like you wouldn't be willing to charge if someone's not willing to pay 12k, then you won't be willing to charge 12k, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like I've spent $500,000 on fucking mentoring and coaching. So like, I don't care. I'll charge for whatever. Like I pitched someone 100 grand before because I didn't really want to work with them. So I was like, but for me, that was a very liberating thing, because like, I don't need the money. I'd rather just push you away. But like, at what point is this worth it? For $100,000 I'll do it. If not, I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, makes sense. So it's helpful, but you didn't see like a huge difference, because I was thinking also about buying a nice car, but honestly, I'm not driving at all, so it would be only for...
If I'm honest, I wouldn't bother. I think it's, if you don't drive, like what's actually, and also this is what people don't talk about. I'm going to put people off being successful. This talk I'm talking about, and I say, but like for example, I went away to the Maldives, and suddenly I was aware, I was like, fuck, I haven't left my car in charge, because like supercars, the batteries go flat really quick.
It's an electric car?
Yeah. Okay. On anything that's like a supercar, the batteries go flat if you don't leave them on charge. So I came back and immediately turned the car on to make sure like it fucking would start, because otherwise it's a problem. And I think that's where some of these things then become mental baggage that you then worry about, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I just remembered now the warranty's up and I need to get it renewed and stuff like that. So expensive cars are like pretty women, they can be problematic.
Yeah, so you have more stuff to think about.
For me, I think that's where people should understand that there's an opportunity cost in like your mental distraction of like looking at trading crypto, looking at property investments or whatever. For like, I have most of my net worth in like property investments. Now, what I'm doing is going to invest into like wealth management funds and stocks and shares, because I don't have to do anything. I literally just funnel money into it, and it just grows and grows and grows without me having to do anything. And it has more diversification, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. I've invested also in the stock market, like ETFs, very low risk, diversified, and my portfolio is doing pretty well. But investing in crypto, I've invested a bit in Bitcoin, but I don't talk much about it, especially in French, because it's very dangerous to talk about your crypto portfolio in France. I don't know if you're aware of it, but it's like the second most dangerous country in the world in terms of kidnapping because of crypto.
What really, where they hold you to ransom for ledgers and stuff?
Yes. Like since January, I think every day there has been one kidnapping, crypto kidnapping. And basically how they operate is that they take one of your family member, they hold them somewhere, they send you a video. They said to you, if you don't send like your crypto portfolio in less than X hour, we cut one finger. And so a lot of people, for real, have lost fingers because they are family members of people who owns crypto. And so it's wild how dangerous it's becoming. And since then I've stopped exposing my family on social media, my mom, because it's just too dangerous to talk about what you have.
Do you think that's why so many people from Europe are coming to Dubai?
Yeah, I think so. One of the reason, there we can talk about taxes and everything also, but it's one of the reason. And but the issue is that it's not solving the problem, because my family is still living in France, and like my mom, my brothers, my dad, so they are still at risk. But yeah, it's crazy times. I don't know how it is in the UK.
Even worse.
Worse?
Way worse.
Okay.
So, and also economically, the UK is falling apart. So I think, which is why, like statistically, in 2025, 10,000 millionaires left the UK. In 2026, it'll be 16,000. So we have the highest rate of millionaires leaving the country, leaving their own country, of any country in the world by a mile.
Wow.
And we have a population of like 70 million.
It's crazy.
And like, so I think that's where, in some respects, it's good for us here in Dubai. Why? Because the best and the most talented people on the entire planet with highest levels of knowledge, skill sets, and network are all within half an hour of each other. Mm-hmm. So it's very easy to learn from some of the best people. Like the guy I mentioned to you, I want to try and get on the podcast to like learn from, also lives on the Palm. So he lives within 2 minutes of here.
Nice.
So it's like, it's insane the access of people you have here, and it's just a melting pot. And I think the safety thing is the big thing that I didn't really realize when I first moved here, of like how important that is. Because if you think about your ability to focus, you don't have to worry about one of your most basic human needs, that someone's going to break in and steal something during the night or break into your car or whatever it might be.
Yeah. Have you networked with some people in the Palm?
Yeah, I've got a few people I know on one of the other fronts. One of my friends actually just moved on to another one as well. Not so much on this road. Like a lot of them are kind of different nationalities. A lot of people kind of keep themselves to themselves. It's interesting seeing what some people do though. So like, there's a guy who lives on the road, and his business is he has an aluminium factory that makes ladders for construction sites and scaffold, like random stuff. Yeah. Which is when we come from like our world of like info or fitness or whatever, it makes you realize there's so many different ways to make money in the world, and there's no shortage of resources, just short of resourcefulness to go and get them.
Yeah. Do you know anything about his story? Like how he started?
No, I don't know the full background on it.
Okay.
But I think he originally came over from India though, to be fair.
Okay.
What does your mum think about what you've achieved?
She's very proud. Originally, I wanted to become a fighter pilot in the French army. And so she was working at Air France, which is the national company, as a air cabin crew. And now she's very proud of me. She was very disappointed when I left my studies a few years ago. And now she just came in Dubai actually a few weeks ago. She didn't think it was possible. I think it was not in her spectrum of what what is achievable. Yeah, she's very, very proud of me. I've also helped my younger brother launch his business. Now he's doing 50K per month.
Sick.
He's doing really well. So it changed, like investing in me, and it changed everything for me and my whole family. I've been able to support my mom financially. I've been able to help her change her job because she didn't really like what she were doing before. So yeah, it's night and day. And the funny thing is that not my closest people, but I would say a lot of people have completely changed how they perceived me since I became successful. Not my mom, she always saw me the same and everything. She always saw the potential in me. Like she never said, "Oh, this is too hard, don't do it." She always pushed me to try it, and even if I failed, she would tell me that failure is not like every time she would tell me failure is not you, it's an event. It's like you have to detach both. And so she helped me and she believed in me a lot. But a lot of my friends from high school and universities, their perspective on me has changed a lot since I became successful, which is very funny because I don't feel like I'm a different person. I feel like I'm always the same. But when I give my opinion on something, when I talk about something, I feel like my point of view is way more valuable and listened, which is very funny. But yeah, my mom is very proud and very supportive.
With what you've achieved at a young age, do you think being young has helped you?
Yeah, because I didn't have anything to lose when I started. I was 20 years old. I didn't have any loan. I was living in my mom's apartment. I was living I was sleeping on the sofa actually. It's a funny story because we had only a 2-bedroom apartment. So my mom was sleeping in one bedroom. My younger brother was sleeping in the other one. And so I was sleeping on the sofa. And I was like, worst case scenario, I get a regular job. I know I'm able to work. I know I can get into the army and do something with my life. So I didn't have anything to lose. I didn't ask myself a lot of questions. I just went all in. And because I've been reading self-help books since I was 15 years old, I knew there was a way to make money online and I knew there was a way to change my life. And so I didn't have anything to lose. I just went all in. And I think it helped me a lot because when you have a job, you have less time, you have a lot of obligations. Sometimes when you are above 30, you have loans. Even like student debt is very annoying. A lot of French students have debt they need to refund. So I didn't have any of that and it helped a lot. What about you? Would you say it helped you?
Well, I would say I was on like, not middle-age spectrum, but I could probably, if I'd started earlier, like the earlier you start, the more I appreciate. Even I think about it now, if I started now when I just had a kid, it'd be very difficult. And also if your goal is to get financial freedom, the goal is to keep your expenses down. And when you start to have a family, your expenses go up a lot. So I think that's one of the things people need to try and focus on is like when you start to make money is don't be a retard with the money you have and try and spend it all. It's not about how much you spend, it's how much you can save and invest. And then eventually you get to a point where you have enough invested that you can just kind of live off that.
Yeah.
And that's when you probably have to question the point of life, like what the fuck do I do now? Which is in a good position to kind of like be in, I think.
But I remember that's a good point because when I arrived in Dubai, I had saved maybe 20,000 euros, which is not much. And so my business was maybe 6 months old. I very fast I understood that I would pay a lot of taxes if I stayed in France and I should just move in a tax-free country and save up the difference and just reinvest into myself, into my business and everything. So when I came in Dubai, I slept in a sharing apartment. I was spending maybe 600 euros per month to have a small bed and I was running my business alone. Like this, and this is a good advice because when you are older you cannot do that. You cannot sometimes it's difficult because it's difficult to take a step back and look like a loser, and when you are young you have nothing to lose, so you can just live in a sharing bedroom apartment. You can eat pasta every day, and this is like a huge advantage. Yeah, it's a huge advantage.
I think Yeah, I think what you said there is a testimony to why you've been successful, because you're willing to sacrifice those things because you can also see the longer term benefit, rather than what most people do is when they come to Dubai, they kind of overspend, they try and do their lifestyle, they don't invest in themselves or the business, and they wonder why they're still in the exact same position. Because like you and me both know people who maybe would have been ahead of you or the same level of you when you first came here, who've done fucking nothing.
Yes.
And you both had the exact same amount of time, but it's just a decision in terms of like how you allocate the resources you have, which are your time and the money you have.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that my business was still doing well. I was doing maybe 15,000 euros per month in profit when I arrived, which is not insane, but it's already good enough to have your own apartment in Dubai and everything. But I was secretly saving my money to first save myself, have like 6 months of expenses on the side, and also investing, reinvesting, and everything. And I think not a lot of people are willing to look like failures, and I take a lot of pride to not have spent my money stupidly very fast. And yeah, as you said, I think it helped me a lot to be in this position now where I don't need to work to finance my lifestyle because I've invested my money properly.
I think I remember someone said this to me and it really kind of resonates, that like the only people who will be impressed by the stuff you have are the people behind you. Like the people ahead of you don't care what fucking car you have or what you have, anything. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They care about what you do and like how you act.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing people should kind of take from that.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to look like a loser.
Oh, well, like actually the thing is, it's the quiet people are often the people who are fucking crushing silently. It's the people who try and like be really loud or like obnoxious or like take people down on social media and talk shit about people. The people who are struggling.
Have you had something to deal with? You told me you had some issues in 2024. What happened?
Yeah, so we had a problem there where I had 3 direct competitors all then started making content slating me, saying how I was like the worst thing in the fitness industry, all this other type of bullshit. And then the worst part about that was someone had hired a hacker, I know who it was, to then disable my Instagram account and all of our accounts, and they kept getting taken down. And then what was worse is they were then taking our clients' accounts down. So we share like social proof of like this client made this much money. They would start disabling all the accounts. So I had a hacker on my end who could just get the account matched like straight away, but it was just fucking annoying because like every time the account goes down, all our ads go down, and it's just like stress the point of it. And I remember like the hackers would be calling me, being like, "You need to pay us 30,000 euros, otherwise we're gonna fucking ruin your business." Blah blah blah. And like the worst thing about this, I remember we spoke to Meta directly, our Facebook rep, and they're like, "There's nothing we can do. You need to go to like the police." So one of my team was in Ireland at the time. He went to the police in Ireland, where like their headquarters is for Meta, and it's like, "There's nothing you can do. You can take it into your own hands." So I was like, "Okay, do I like petrol bomb the guy's house? Like, what do you want me to do?" So eventually, it just kind of like fizzled out. But through that whole thing, I never said anything online. Like I would never. My opinion is that you're a low value human being if you try and like take shots at other people online, try and pull other people down. So I think a lot of people just want to try and get like platformed by being like, "Oh, Iman Ghazi is a scammer, this person does this," or like whatever. I think I'm a big believer in like karmic debt. So like what goes around comes around. So if you do good things and you help good people, and then everything will work itself out in the end.
Yeah. It's so funny because I have a similar story that happened to me a few months ago. I was doing a big 5-day challenge, So I've spent like 150,000 euros on ads for the challenge. And I was really, really determined to succeed and everything. And during the challenge, a lot of creators started to make videos about my challenge and criticizing how the opportunity is not working, blah, blah, blah. And during the challenge, I also there was also someone in the chat that was sending links towards these videos. And it was so annoying because all of the people that were on the live would see that. Eventually, it didn't impact much the performance of the challenge, but it was stressful times because I had put some like 150K down and everything. And after that, it kept going. Basically, the guy who made the video, I called him and I told him, "Listen, why are you doing that? Like, what's the point behind it?" And he had a course also. And at the end of every one of his videos, he was promoting his course, obviously. And so I told him, okay, let's meet and let's talk about it in real life, because we cannot talk through it through the phone. And he said, I'm not in Dubai, I live in Russia, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, why, do you want to fight, or what's the problem? And I was like, if you talk to me face to face, like you talk to me in your videos, of course, like it's gonna be physical. Like if you like respect to someone, you expect to be punched in the face. It's normal. And the guy was like, oh, now I like you. Now you seem real. Now you seem authentic. It was really crazy. But the funny thing is that he has a pretty big audience. So he started shifting and telling me that now he liked me and that he would disable the videos. And after that, he made a video saying that he had no idea about the quality of my program and the results of my client. He just wanted to promote his own course and make a buzz out of it. And so, yeah, I had an experience like this. And I think it was him also, because before that, there was a guy who tried to shut down my Instagram. But it's very, very annoying. Have you ever had like guys trying to use your identity to create fake accounts of you?
That's how they were trying to shut our accounts down.
Okay.
They create hundreds of accounts and try and like get the other ones disabled, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I had that also, and the annoying thing is that they were using these fake accounts to promote trading. You know, trading.
Trading bots and stuff.
Trading bots, like copy trading. And so I was not aware that I had a trust pilot until I saw all of the 1-star review people were putting, thinking that I promoted the trading bot. I didn't do anything. It was all fake accounts. And so I saw the trust pilot I didn't know I have. And I was like, what? Like, I had maybe 15 1-star reviews of people getting scammed on TikTok and Instagram from fake accounts. And this is where I was like, being too famous is not good.
That's where I think there's a happy medium.
Yeah.
Because also I think you can kind of be very exposed at a certain point, and there's a lot of crazy people in the world.
Yeah.
So I think that's why for me also I never try and create massive beef with people, because it's just not worth it. Like I got loads of shit on people, but I just wouldn't put it into the public air, because it's not my values don't align with that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And there is nothing to win out of it. You can only lose. It's like a lose-lose situation. So yeah, it's a bit annoying, but now there is not much thing happening regarding this.
Keep it like that.
Yeah.
I wanted to finish up with 10 quick-fire questions for you.
Okay.
So what's the fastest way a young entrepreneur sabotages themselves?
Not having the right people around him.
Money or freedom, which one matters more after you've had both?
Money buys you freedom.
Good answer. What's a belief you had at 10,000 euros a month that's embarrassing now?
People will only buy if I close myself.
You can see all these limiting beliefs coming out. What's the most overrated business advice on Instagram?
Volume doesn't matter.
Agree. The more you do, the luckier you get. What's harder, making your first 10,000 euros or your first million?
My first million, I would say.
I would have maybe said the first 10,000. What do people romanticize about entrepreneurship that's complete nonsense?
It's going to be a funny straight line, and that the business you start with is going to be the business you end with.
What's one rule you live by that would offend most people?
Yeah, believe in yourself. You have to have very strong belief in yourself.
If someone wants to partner with you, what's the non-negotiable?
Complementary skills.
And then what's the truth about success that no one wants to hear?
It's not as good as we think it is.
More respect in terms of on the other side?
Yeah.
Why?
The feelings you get are still the same. The feelings you get inside every day are still the same. Like the sky is not more blue, the sun is not brighter. So either you have big problems or small problems, you will always feel more or less like the same.
I'm laughing because I fucking agree completely.
Yeah.
It's You have the same problems, just a bigger house, nicer car.
It's like be grateful for the journey, I would say.
Yeah.
Because that's all you have. Do not expect to have some big miracle, life-changing thing that's gonna happen on the other side of your goals, because it's not like this. It's just gonna be another day, another second going by, and after that it's gonna be the end of your life. So just try to make the most out of it. It doesn't matter where you are.
It's 1,000 small wins. I think that add up. Just do your best every day.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to find out, to finish up. What's the best place for people to find out more about you, Antoine? You got 2 YouTube channels now as well, I saw.
Yes, I have a YouTube channel that the name is Antoine Blanco. It's only in French, so
they have an auto dub one. I commented on it yesterday when I watched one of your videos.
Sorry?
It converts it into English in like a really weird like AI version.
Really?
Yeah. I watched one of your videos yesterday.
I was not aware of it. Yeah, the AI translation is not good at all now. But yeah, Antoine Blanco 99 on Instagram. I speak about business and how to grow as a growth operator, basically.
Cool. Big thank you for your time. Make sure you check out Antoine. If you guys enjoyed the podcast, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Drop any questions in the comments and subscribe, and we'll see you next episode coming up on the screen right now.